Hello, my name is Shannon Moore, and today we'll be taking a look at the new interface for Formative. To access Formative, simply log into My Backpack, and in the search bar at the top, start typing Formative. Click on Formative, and your Formative will open. Now that you're in Formative, let's take a look at setting up classes. Simply click on Classes, and by default, you may see classes have been imported from Infinite Campus. But you also have the option to roster sync using Google Classroom or Microsoft Teams. For training purposes today, we're going to use Google Classroom. It may ask you to verify your APS Google account, and then we'll pull off your Google Classrooms for import. Simply click on which class you'd like to import and click Import. Now let's take a look at how to manage your classes. Simply click the checkbox next to a class, and this control panel will appear at the bottom of your screen. Edit allows you to edit class details such as grade level and class name. Co-teacher allows you to add a co-teacher to your class, which gives them the rights to edit or delete a formative. Clone allows you to duplicate your class. Lock allows you to lock your class down so no students can enter. And since we're using Google, it allows us to sync our rosters. So as students enter or exit your class, you can simply click on Google Sync, choose that class, and choose appropriate students to import. And last, you have Archive, which will archive the class for your students. Clicking on a class gives you a list of co-teachers and students. By checking the box next to a student, you will see this control panel populate. You have reset password, which you do not want to use if you're using Google. You can add your students to other classes. You can remove your students, and you can also see activity for the last 14 days for that student. You have the option to turn on accommodations by clicking here. To add an accommodation to a student, simply click the link next to that student's name, adjust accommodation settings, and click Update. Now let's take a look at creating a formative. Simply click on New Formative. Give your formative a title. If you have any instructions, you click here to add them. By default, you see these 3 question types, but clicking on the blue circle will allow you to see all of the content types and question types available. We're going to begin with a simple multiple choice question. Type in a question, enter in your answer choices, and denote the correct answer. Each text box in each question has this plus symbol here, which allows you to add these items to your question or answer choice. You have the option to randomize order, which allows you to randomize the order of your answer choices. Show your work, which will allow students to show their work on a whiteboard. And of course, required, which will eliminate the student from skipping a question. Click here to add your standards. Add new standard set. Do a search for Georgia. Find your subject, your grade level, and once you have identified that these are correct standards, simply click Confirm and Exit. Now that you have your standards, they will populate by just simply clicking. You can also start typing a word and it will pull that standard up. You have the option to insert multiple standards for each question. By default, each question is worth 1 point. Simply click here to adjust your points. And the More menu allows you to do these 3 things here: copy, move, or delete. Now that we have our first question, let's add another question. For this question, I'm going to require an audio response. First, type your question. And I'm going to add an image for this question. And now I want to adjust my Show Your Work background. So I'm going to click on Edit Background. And I'm actually going to add the same image again. So my students can actually annotate over the image as they are providing their audio response. Once you have your background in place, simply click the checkbox and of course tag your standards as you see fit. Let's do one more question type. This time we're going to do short answer. Again, add your question. And then add your correct answers. Now, let's take a look at how to assign a formative. Simply click on Assign, choose your class, and you have several options available. Teacher Pace Mode allows you to do this formative as a whole group and show one formative at a time. By clicking Additional Settings, you will see other options available. The ones I would like to bring your attention to is after submission, whether you want to allow edits or make hidden or keep visible, which is by default. Don't show scores. These are your options after student submits instantly. That means after they've answered each individual question, they will know whether they received credit or missed a question. And you also have don't show scores or when closed. Return correct answers by default or don't show answers at all, but you also have after student submits and when closed. Once you have adjusted all of your settings, simply click Assign and Post to Google Classroom. Students will then click on the link, sign in with Google, and they will have access to your formative. To view live responses, simply open the formative and click on Responses. And as students are answering the questions, you will see the data populate right before your eyes. Of course, green means they got it correct, and red means incorrect. If you see gray, that means that's a question that you as a teacher needs to go in and grade. Now let's take a look at the tracker. The tracker allows you to see data over a specified time. By default, it will say the last 14 days, but you can simply click here and adjust the settings so you can see the data that you need to see. You can also view your data based on standards. Simply click on Standards, and all the standards that you have tagged in your formatives will be listed and shown here. Now let's take a look at the library. The library is where you'll find several pre-made formatives to use in your instruction. You'll simply do a search based on title or topic. You also have the option to do filters such as grade level, subject. If you hover over a formative, you'll be able to see a preview on the right side. If you like the formative, there are two ways to add it. You'll click the blue Add to My Favorite Formatives list here, or click the plus sign. Either one of those, and the formative will be added to your formative dashboard. From there, you can edit the formative, or you can just go ahead and directly assign a formative to your students. If you need additional support using formative, please contact your ETS or simply click the support link and find help in the Help Center or the Training Center. Thank you for watching.